When it comes to drawing people, you've probably seen people starting more with kind of the egg shape for the rib cage, then slots for the arms. Try to figure out where the spine goes, do something like this for the hip. And I'm not the biggest fan of working this way. Ultimately, we get to the same place, but I much prefer. If you want to learn more about drawing people, please subscribe. It really helps the channel out and lets me help you better as well. To start with a triangle for the upper chest, a ball for kind of this space in here, and then a bottom triangle just kind of for that lower pelvis. And I find that this really helps me. You can imagine if we're doing a line here and then coming up there. One of the reasons I like the triangle is it kind of also helps give me where these leg sockets are going to go. So you'll notice we kind of have a line coming down right here, so I simulate that here. I know that kind of this connection right here, I'm going to do a downward line like that. I know from the side of this ball if I come straight up a bit, and be mindful of the size of this ball here, because if you make it too small this isn't going to work. But come up and you can come across like that, and that gives me the pectoralis muscles. The nice thing about, like if I keep going up straight a little further, I've already got a shoulder region ready to go. That's getting a little ahead. I like to do shoulders kind of hanging off that triangle. Let's move this over before it kind of fuses with that other shape next to it. Okay, so coming off the top of this ball, kind of right in here, if you come down like this, follow the shape down to the bottom of that triangle, now we have a full pelvis shape. And I know that from here and here, that's where my legs are going to connect, just like that. I'm going to put another ball for the knees. Doesn't have to be perfect. You'll notice I kind of curve these in just ever so slightly. Balls for the ankles. I'm going to kind of do a little triangle or tilted box shape roughly for the top of those feet. Something like that. Okay, coming back up to here, I'm going to come off the top and off the bottom and kind of make like this tear shape. I know that right in here is roughly the height of my elbows, and that's actually another reason that ball's there. Okay, so ball for the elbows, come down here, ball for the elbow, and I know that this line right about here is gonna be for my wrists, so ball for the wrists, ball for the wrists, and then I usually will do kind of a shape like this for the hands. Just kind of something to show us there, and if you want you can kind of even do like a little thumb shape coming off like that, but something for just showing me where that hand goes. Now I'm going to come up from that center line just a bit, drop a head on there. Don't make this too long or too short, that kind of line right there, just long enough. Whoop, too many undos. And then you can actually kind of come off this shoulder and touch the neck, off this shoulder and touch the neck, and that is the basic figure. We need the lat muscles. You can get those by coming down to about right here, the bottom of this ball, and kind of just curve line in this way. Then another gentle line off of that one, like that. And if you want to smooth this up a little bit, you can kind of add one more like that. That is the very basic shape that I use for drawing people. So just real quick, let's cover that up. Since we're working digitally, we can lower the opacity of our layer and make a new one. And all I'm really going to do is wrap the outside. I'm not going to try to use too much anatomical knowledge. I know that there's a bicep shaped just about like that. Don't want to get crazy. I know the arm curves a little bit like that. I know an elbow kind of goes in there, and I can curve like that. Okay. I am going to do the collarbone like this. Come down again, follow that shoulder. Gentle bicep. Little elbow space. Gently curve that arm. About like that. Now, I do want to follow kind of this line here. Edge of that triangle. Not crazy. Just enough to tell me that I have my pectoralis muscles there. And I'm going to gently come across roughly where this is. That line right there. Doesn't have to be exact. Again, I'm going to follow this down here. From the lat. Down to the hip. The crotch is going to have a gentle curve to it. I'm going to bring these lines down to the knees. I'm just going to kind of do a shape like this for the knee. It's almost like a cup, except we're cutting the top off and breaking the bottom a bit. Okay, so something like that. Gentle curve line down. Again. Now the ankles, the outside bump is lower than the inside bump. And whenever I'm kind of drawing the heel from this front view, so we've got this shape like this kind of already. If you simply come down a little bit off that shape and then close it, that'll function as a heel. So kind of like this, like that. And that kind of gives an insinuation that there's a heel right there. We don't want to get crazy with the hands, so I'm going to use my cheat hands this time. Essentially, I'm just going to make fists that look like this. Actually, you know what? Let me break that down just a bit more. If I was to do a square, I'm going to put a small, almost triangle shape on the side like this. Then on the bottom, I would have a series of boxes like this. It's not meant to look realistic, it's just meant to help you realize that there is a hand there. And so when I put it on, it kind of looks like this. And so what I ended up doing is I came down off the wrist, came out this way a little bit, down. There's kind of that. I just flattened it off on the edge right there. And then I came down. There's the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, and then I just connected to that. Sometimes it'll look better, sometimes it'll look worse, but it will look like a hand and people will read it as a hand. Okay, next, just real quick, get that head on there. If you want to do a gentle line down the bottom, you can do kind of a triangle on that face. Now if you divide the triangle in half, you'll know just above it is where your eyes are going to go, and just below it is where the mouth is going to go, and that's roughly where the nose goes. And then off to the side, you can pop on some ears. That is a very, very basic way to draw a person, but it hey, it's a person. And if you want to take it a little further, you can just add a little bit of, to kind of show the separation for the pelvic bone right there. I will often add a secondary little curved line there, and then little lines there, and one very gently down the center just a bit to kind of show some abdomen region. But yeah, there's a quick way to draw people. Give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you get confused on any part, please let me know, because I would love to help further and help people understand how to draw people even better. So if you get confused, please let me know. I would really appreciate it.